Oh my god, we have to talk about Dulce Ambición because it just reached 100 episodes. I am obsessed with this show. So anyways, in today's episode, we start with Joana's grandma telling Mary Peace that she recognizes her from back in the day in the hospital. Mary Peace put two and two together and she confirmed that Joana's grandma was the plot nurse back when she was having Josiane. And Joana's grandma gave her so much tea. She was like, I remember her talking to Alberta, which is Joana's mom. So now it clicked to Mary Peace and she's telling Joana about how she knew her mom back in the day. She told Joana how her and Josiane were both premature babies, so both moms would bond over that. And she even said that they discussed Mary Peace potentially being Joana's godmother, but unfortunately they lost touch and it just never happened. But that just made Joana so happy because it seems that that explains the connection they had before. And Mary Peace tells Joana to look through her birth documents to confirm whether it was actually her, although we all know it was. Later that night, everybody was up to some nonsense because Josiane asked her hacker friend for a favor. She has an Instagram filtered flashback to Fabiana blackmailing her with the picture, and she tells the hacker to get rid of the picture remotely. And the guy's like, yeah, I can use my Villano hacking powers to do that. You just need to get me the phone. And Josiane thinks about her cousin Gael to help her out do this dirty deed. Elsewhere, Octavio and Beatriz are having dinner, and Beatriz is not having it. She's like, Octavio, why are you doing too much right now? Because we both agreed to separate amicably. And Octavio tries to shoot his shot. He's like, you know what? We have very similar lives. We should just get back together. And Beatriz is like, listen, Hunty, we both know that's not going to happen. You have your side chick and you treated me like crap, so I'm not going back to that trash. And he tried again, and he tried to trash talk Jose Helio, which set Beatriz off. She put two and two together, and she was like, oh, so you and my mom conspiring to freaking put us apart. Like, we not going to have it. Yo, the hood jumped out of Beatriz because she was cursing him out then and there. She even did the finger thing. She was like, you trash, and you cheated on me. Like, girl. The couple behind was looking at them getting all the tea. And that would have been me too, though. Beatriz set his ass straight and dragged him to the pits of hell, as she should, because they were up to some nonsense. And he just sat there like a dumbass after getting exposed in front of everybody in the restaurant. But the mess did not stop there, because Abel took Brittany out on a pizza date. Y'all stay eating pizza. Abel's being extra weird and awkward. And Brittany's like, if you're gonna harass me for being trans, like, I'm not gonna take that crap. And Abel's like, no. And then he confesses that he loves her and that he can't keep hiding it. Holy crap. And Brittany was so not expecting this. She was so caught off guard. Girl legit took one giant drink and she even started crying and took off. But she was happy though, because she was sitting in her living room just smiling to herself. But Grandma Cornelia's like, you really happy over that? Listen, we know she's wrong, but Grandma Cornelia was just watching out for Brittany because she was like, that Abel guy talks so much crap about you being trans, and all of a sudden he finds out that you're rich and he changes his tune. That seems mighty suspicious. And poor Brittany was like, yeah, you know what? That kind of makes sense. And can we talk about Brittany's Wonder Woman outfit? The mess continued on to the next day because the first thing Brittany did was talk to him. And Brittany was like, hell no, I am not marrying you because you just after my money. And low-key, I'm not mad about Abel getting a taste of his own medicine because he rejected Brittany so bad and he was so rude to her. I'm not mad about this at all. Elsewhere, Beatriz went and talked to Jose Helio and cleared up the entire situation. And Jose Helio also confessed about how both Octavio and Linda tried to talk him out of dating Beatriz. And Beatriz was like, you know what? F them. The only thing I care about is you. And she asked him out. And Jose Helio was like, no. Instead, he was like, I want to marry you. And then they made out. They made out. Yo, I stand this couple so much. So the next day, Josiane meets with Gael, and she's like, I need you to get that phone from Fabiana. I know that you know her. And Gael's like, I'm always up for some Villano activity, but how you gonna pay me, girl, because your ass is broke? And Josiane strikes once again, because she was like, I could let you hit it one night. And my dude Gael started freaking laughing at her. He was like, girl, don't nobody want your crusty ass? And y'all want to know what Josiane offered instead? She legit was like, well, you can rob my boyfriend instead. What is this mess? And Gael really was like, you know what? That sounds like a reasonable thing. I'll take that. What is this mess? So Gael goes and pays Fabiana a visit, pretending to apply for a job. And Fabiana's like, Hunty, I ain't hiring nobody. But she offered him a waiter job at her party. They low-key like each other. Over at the studio, Vivi's doing her photo shoot of the day. She stay on these random photo shoots. And Teo isn't my cup of tea, but I'm glad he spoke up and said something. He was like, listen, Vivi, you need to chill with Mary Peace because you've been a raging bitch ever since you got on the show. And Vivi really tried to play dumb. She was like, no, I'm fair with everybody. Like, and even Kim jumped in and she was like, no, girl, like, let's keep it 100. Like, you've been extra rude to Mary Peace, and for what reason? Even Sylvia was giving her the side eye. And my dude Teo was like, yeah, it's like you're being rude to Mary Peace on purpose. While my girl freaking Kim took a swig out of her flask. And Vivi knew that she was in the wrong because she tried to play it off and deflect. Girl, we know you trifling. Flash forward to them at Best Cake. The show starts and BB shows up on set. And Daryl giving her the side eye like, this bitch. And I would have done it too. So today's challenge at Best Cake is homemade recipes. And Mary Peace brings her pastel mahi. But the twist is that they have to bake each other's recipes. So Mary Peace has to exchange recipes with Donna Inferno, and I can't. So they're running to get their ingredients as usual. And Donna Inferno takes all the salt on purpose from Mary Peace, even though she knew that Mary Peace's recipe required mostly salt. And Donna Inferno had the nerve to talk crap about the pastel mágico. Like, girl, you do not mess with that cake. I'm gonna jump in and pull some weave. And the thing is that Mary Peace even told the host that she was hogging all the cake and purposely sabotaging her. And the host said absolutely nothing, even though she witnessed it all happen. I cannot, like, someone throw me in this show. Let's take a break really quick to go to Rocky's party because they about to have some mess go down. They finally enact a plan to take Fabiana's phone. And Fabiana's like, oh my god, guys, let's take a selfie. And Tail's like, yeah, I'll take the picture. Give me your phone, Fabiana. But freaking Gael was there, which means he could sabotage her plan because he's there for the same reason. I'm not gonna lie though, it was a cute picture. Like, it was really cute. Anyways, Jose Helio gets the phone and he sneaks away and he starts putting the spyware program in Fabiana's phone. I swear, if Gael messes this up, I'm gonna be so pissed. Okay, for our last scene and best cake, they're all done with their challenge. And now it's time for all of them to get rated. And Mary Peace is like, let this wench just not be a bitch today. So Mary Peace had to bake Donna Inferno's salty ass cake. And she's the first one to get rated. And VIVI goes first. And this wench has the audacity to make a face. And she be an extra. She looking like she gonna throw up. Like, girl, this is the face we make when you come on our screen. And she's like, ew, this cake is disgusting. And Mary Peace looked like she was about to be Mary whoop that ass. Honestly, she better whoop that ass just like she did with Josiane because I cannot stand her. VIVI been on some nonsense. Have you ever met somebody who was low-key annoying because they would pretend to be nice, but you knew that they were actually bitchy? Like, that's basically what VIVI is like right now. Because she made such a big deal about Mary Peace's salty cake. And Mary Peace was like, yeah, girl, the cake's supposed to be salty. Like, I don't know what your deal is. And VIVI was making such a big deal about it that even the other judges were giving her the side eye. They were like, girl, like, you're doing too much. Anyways, VIVI did all of this mess just to give Mary Peace a 9. A 9 out of 10. Like, girl, why did you even bother? Thankfully, the other judges were on Mary Peace's side, and they commended Mary Peace for doing an excellent job because she once again didn't have the proper ingredients to make the cake, and she figured out a way. And Mary Peace was happy. She was pleased that they were recognizing her hard work. And VIVI continued being bitchy to the other contestant. Except for this wench. She gave her a full 10. Like, VIVI, whose side are you on? Both Abel and Mary Peace were looking at her like, this bitch. She even roasted this dude for having a flat cake. Anyways, the judges made up their decision, and Mary Peace once again by a hair made it on the show. Even the host was like, damn girl, you were this close to being eliminated again. Like, girl. Over at Rocky's party, the mess continues. So Rocky's trying to distract Fabiana from realizing that her phone is gone. And Jose Helio is trying to be quick to make sure he puts a spyware program on her phone. And as usual, it's taking its sweet ass time. And Fabiana's noticing that something's gone and she starts to get bitchy. So this must be a Brazilian thing because I guess offering the first slice of cake to somebody is a way of honoring them. Because Rocky offered it to Agno. Fabiana swore it was going to be her and she was pissed. She immediately started talking crap about Agno. She was like, Rocky, he was just trying to get in your pants. Like, why are you doing this? And he was like, you really gonna talk crap? Like, Agno was the one who paid for his boxing career. So yeah, clearly, like, he does have a point. And Fabiana got ultra pissed and she went into rage mode. She was like, where's my phone? I'm calling the police. And the spyware program finishes downloading right in the nick of time because Fabiana is legit having a meltdown. She's really about to have her guests being searched. Like, Jose Helio walks out to witness this mess. And Beatriz is a ride or die because she instantly notices that Jose Helio has the phone and she's like, give me the phone. She'll never suspect it's me. So Beatriz pretends to find the phone. So then Fabiana finds her phone, although she pissed off most of her guests. Tail's pissed by the whole thing, so he leaves, and he meets with Jose Helio, and they talk about the phone thing, and Beatriz is like, It seems that Fabiana used up her entire memory storage, because that thing was taking its sweet-ass time downloading all the data. And Tail was like, alright, Josiane, I'm gonna find out what you did. But Tail, we know you're not gonna do anything. Back at Fabiana's apartment, Fabiana is refusing to pay Gael. She really said you could have some free cake instead. Like, she just made the dumb decision. To the point where even Rocky felt bad, and he was like, you know what, I'll just pay him. And Gael was so salty, he was like, you're gonna learn to. So Fabiana is alone with Rocky, and she's trying to be cute, and she really said, it's about time we get married. And Rocky's like, nah, fam, this ain't it. And he confessed, he was like, listen, I actually don't even like you. I like someone else. And Fabiana was extra pissed. She was blindsided. She was not ready. Rocky's like, listen, you're a mean person. You're not nice. You treat everybody like crap, and I can't be with someone like that. And Fabiana really had the nerve to be like, but I have money. I can give you money for your career. And Rocky's like, nah, fam, you're trash. And he really walked away. Fabiana has no dignity, so she started being a mess and crying. She really ran after his ass. And Rocky just swagged out, leaving her looking crazy. And Fabiana was a crying mess. And Gael came right out at the right time. And he was like, it's payback time. Bitch, you better give me that phone. So Gael goes and immediately delivers the phone to Josiane. And Josiane gives it to her hacker friend, and they immediately get to work. And he starts downloading the virus thingy. I like how it has a little bug in there. And then they erase Fabiana's phone. I low-key ship these two doing bad things. They're kind of cute together. Anyways, as soon as they put the virus into Fabiana's phone, Tail notices that the documents have stopped downloading to his. And Tail's like, oh crap, we are screwed. Like, damn it. The next day, Fabiana gets a new phone and she tries to have Jose Helio back everything up. But Jose Helio finds out that all her cloud documents have been scrubbed. And Fabiana is shocked once again. It's rarely that Fabiana has a bad day. And Josiane is swag right in, ready to talk to Fabiana. And once again, Fabiana's just blindsided. And Josiane immediately confesses. She's like, girl, I had your phone scrubbed, so you ain't got no dirt on me. And Fabiana really tried to play it off, talking about, oh, I still have a backup somewhere. And Josiane called her out on her bluff. She was like, girl, no, you don't. Like, admit it, you lost, girl. And Fabiana had no choice but to admit defeat. She was like, yep, you beat me. And Josiane was just laughing in her face, was pissed off Fabiana. Because Fabiana was like, you know what? I don't need the pictures because I'm still the witness. And Fabiana has an Instagram filter flashback to the day that she saw Josiane kill Gardel. And Josiane was like, girl, you stupid AF, because my grandma covered it up for me, which means that nobody suspects me. It's rare that Fabiana has a bad day and loses. Fabiana is such a cold and calculating person that it's so fun when she fails because she's a total mess. Over at the studio, even Kim is noticing. She's like, listen, Vivi, like, we gotta have a talk. You gotta stop being a bitch because everyone's noticing and people might stop liking you. And Vivi legit said she likes being the bitchy judge. Like, girl, have several seats. And Kim was like, yeah, and listen, you treat Mary Peace like trash. Mary Peace is extra cool and we all love her. Like, I don't know what your problem is, but you need to chill. And this clown ass Vivi really talking about, oh, Mary Peace makes me feel like I already know her. Like, I like her. She makes me feel like there's something special there. And even Kim was like, so you treat her like crap? Like, it doesn't add up. And Vivi was like, I can't give her preferential treatment. Like, I cannot stand Vivi's fake us. She was so cool, and then she just became another bitch like the rest of them. Over at Mary Peace's bakery, Rocky tries to go talk to Joana, but Joana ain't having it, so Mary Peace intercedes, and she's like, no, go hear him out. Like, she really wants them together. Rocky does a terrible job of explaining what's going on with Fabiana. And he's like, yeah, I broke up with her, I'm kind of free now. And at first, Joana isn't buying it, and I get it. You went to a party, and then you had another party, and then you break up with her. It doesn't add up. And then Rocky tries to explain as best as he can, and then he goes on and starts confessing to Joana how he feels about her. And he legit says that he gets so shy around Joana, which cracked a smile on her face. She's liking the attention. So Rocky asks her if they can start talking again and start working on a relationship. And Joana agrees to go out on a date with him. Elsewhere, Josiane is pretending to like Teo. She sets up a fake meeting with him so that Teo can get ambushed. And she's so mean that she couldn't even help but make nasty faces at him over the phone. Anyways, Gael shows up at the studio. And y'all remember how Josiane was like, well, you can rob Teo? That's exactly what he went and did. But his dumbass robbed Teo without a mask. Like, he has no shame. And Teo recognized him instantly. He was like, yo, just take the camera. And then Jose Helio barges in to make things worse. I swore for a moment he was about to shoot Jose Helio. Thankfully, Jose Helio got out of there. He created a distraction. And Gael had no choice but to flee. Jose Helio goes back and checks on Teo to see if he's okay, and he also tells him that was Gael. And Teo's clown ass said that he recognized Gael too, but that he's not gonna press charges. Like, Teo, how are you this stupid? Instead, he was like, I'm gonna talk to Amadeo about it. Like, sit your ass down, Teo. I can't stand you either. And then Josiane's dumbass appears, and Teo gives her the whole tea about how Gael just robbed him. So Gael quickly gets home and starts packing up, and Carlito's like, you're extra weird. And he immediately gets a call from Josiane, and he tells her that he needs a place to hide. And Josiane agrees to hide him. Meanwhile, Carlito's here getting all the tea. Like, is he finally gonna be useful in this storyline? So Gael is trying to flee, but Sylvia out here catching him. And he's trying to say bye to everybody. He's like, tell bye to Amadeo. But Amadeo gets there right in time to catch his ass. In our last scene, Teo seems to grow a brain because he asks Jose Helio to help him find a backup phone. And Jose Helio sets it up for him. And Jose Helio reveals that he can still look through whatever downloaded from Fabiana's phone, even if the whole thing didn't download. But he warned him. He warned Teo if he was ready to find out whatever Josiane is hiding. And we know damn well Teo is not ready. He's gonna find out sooner than later, and I can see the stupidity he's gonna do. He's probably gonna end up helping her. Yo, get ready for the craziest, messiest episode this show has. This is definitely my favorite episode so far. So we start with Jose Helio giving Teo the backup phone, and Teo hid it away in the studio. Now we definitely have another plot item that we know that backup phone is gonna come in handy soon. Elsewhere, Gael is confronted by Amadeo, and he's fleeing, and he's talking about he's gonna go back and relive the Mateo's glory. Like, boy, if you don't have several seats. Amadeo really was like, I didn't realize you were such a bad person. Like, shut up, Amadeo. You helped all this happen. And he was like, just don't shoot Mary Peace. And Gael left him on red. He was gone. My problem with Amadeo is that he literally enabled all of this. Gael shot Mary Peace, and he got him out of jail and housed him. Like, this is the woman that he loves. And he still gave Gael a pass. Amadeo literally let all this mess happen. Over in the ghetto, Josiane got a fake ID from her new boyfriend. And I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of cute together. Like, they work. They're like an evil version of Rob and Joana. Like, I ship them. Like, they're so cute together. Over in Bet's Cake, they're told that they're going to eliminate 2 contestants today, so Mary Peace is making an ultra special cake. She's legit decorating a cake with rose petals. And Vivi will learn why being a Volana never pays off. So Vivi gives Donna Inferno a perfect score of a 10. She stay favoring her. Thankfully, the other judges actually know their stuff because the technical judge was like, listen, your cake wasn't that great. And Donna Inferno got so pissed. But tell me why the host keeps excusing her behavior. Next up is Mary Peace and her rose petal cake up to be judged. And the judges love her cake. It seems that once again, Donna Inferno hogged all of the stuff for herself, and Mary Peace was left without ingredients. And Vivi has always had something negative to say. You know what this clown did? She rated her low because her cake was decorated with petals. You serious? Mary Peace was like, you for real, girl? Next up is Abel's turn to be judged, and we all know he's a hothead. And once again, all the judges like the cake except for Vivi, who has something negative to say, and they're giving her the side eye. She really said that Abel's cake tasted like soap, which pissed them off so much that Abel threw the cake in her face on national television. You see, Vivi, this is why you don't clown around, because crap like this happens. Mary Peace was shook. Everybody was shook. What is this mess? They legit had to kick out Abel out of the show. They dragged this ass out like this was so messy. So Abel got kicked out by default, which means Mary Peace is in the final. And then our boy Boris got kicked out, boo. So Mary Peace, Alar, and Donna Inferno are the 3 ones left over in the final. Later that night, Mary Peace is so happy celebrating with Amadeo. But then Amadeo gotta be a buzzkill talking about Gael and stuff. He was like, Gael's about that life. He wants to go on and being a murderer. Like, y'all really ruining Mary Peace's vibe. Anyways, Amadeo's like, all right, let's change the subject. And he starts talking about them. And he's like, girl, you should definitely give me a chance now. And Mary Peace is definitely about that life. And they start making out. Honestly, this is the first novella couple that I saw that had like 0 obstacles in their path. They could have literally been together like 2 months ago, but they just chose not to. The next day, old lady Gladys finds Lyris tied up. And she's like, oh my God, freaking Gael tied me up. But she's on that same BS as freaking Tail. Because she's like, don't call the police. Don't tell them anything. Like, why are y'all not reporting this crime? Why are you not reporting this man? Elsewhere, Jose Helio is messing around with the spyware program, and it seems that he has the documents from Fabiana's phone. He's showing Tail how to do it, and they're about to get the tea. But Fabiana calls Jose Helio with a crisis. It seems that after everything that happened in the show, people are just like going crazy online. VIVI stands are just boycotting freaking Pasteles de Paz. So Jose Helio has to go, leaving Tail to see the documents on his own. So Tail's there scrolling through Fabiana's selfies. Like this. And I love this one with Rocky. And then he finds it. The freaking incriminating photo. And holy crap. Tail finally realized the extent of the trash that he's in love with. Over at the bakery, Fabiana's so pissed that she fires Abel. And Abel's like, hell no, you cannot fire me. He says, I know my worth. So they're freaking out. There's even hashtags talking crap about the bakery. All the VIVI stands are rallying together. And then Fabiana hears commotion outside. Yo, VIVI stands must be so toxic. I'm not gonna lie, I have my doubts after they stand her after that wedding incident, but now I know they're extra toxic because they riled up outside the bakery talking about boycotting. Fabiana tried to dissuade them. She was like, Abel doesn't work here, we have nothing to do with him. But those stands were out for blood because they were not taking it. And Fabiana got egged. So Fabiana had to change to one of the bakery uniforms. And Marcia was like, all right, you're not going to do anything to solve this. You should just call VIVI. And Kim instantly arrives and she is ready to cash in. Kim shows the amount that it would take for VIVI to make a post about the factory. And Fabiana's not having it. And this is why you don't burn your bridges. She kicked out Kim on day 1. And if she had not done that, Kim would be on her side today. And literally this would have been squashed from the first moment it happened. But instead she has to pay up. Kim knows this and she was like, girl, you better pay up or I'm leaving. So Fabiana had no choice but to pay up. And then VIVI arrived and her stands went wild. Honestly, her stands are toxic. And then VIVI got right to filming a promo for the bakery. And can we talk about Bertha was in the back eating cake? That's so cute. Then Abel and VIVI talk about how they're BFFs, and VIVI admitted that she was being a little too dramatic on the show. Abel even made a cake for her, and she actually liked it this time. Fabiana, of course, tried to talk to VIVI in private so that she can talk her out of charging her money. And I love how VIVI called Bertha over. She said, Bertha, you come in with us and catching this tea. And upstairs, Fabiana's like, she's charging us too much. This is ridiculous. And Queen Bertha defended Kim. She was like, listen, she's just doing her work and she should get paid for it. Fabiana was like, who TF are you? And Bertha was like, I'm the governess, I'm just helping out, I do everything. And VIVI was so cute, she was like, no, she's not just a governess, she's my friend, which was so adorable. Anyways, Fabiana's being all bitchy. She's like, oh my God, you're my sister and you never helped me. But VIVI clapped back. She was like, funny how you don't give 2 craps about me, but the second something goes wrong, now you need my help. But stupid as Fabiana knows that VIVI has a weak spot, so she was like, pretty please. And VIVI was like, fine, you know I can't resist. And they're like, oh my God, we're sisters forever. And Bertha's there realizing like, wow, literally everyone around VIVI is a whole snake. But Kim is so smart. She foresaw Fabiana pulling this BS and she was like, Marcio, you better put all that money in my account before she changes her mind. And Marcio did. And then he was like, I miss you so much. Yo, they started getting frisky. They legit cleared the table. They're nasty asses. And then they got caught by VIVI, Fabiana, and Bertha again. On to some serious drama. So Teo goes and pays Amadeo a visit. Teo is a hot, ratchet mess. My dude was sweaty, he was shook, and he's like, yeah, Gael robbed me, but I have something important to tell you about Josiane. And what pissed me off so much is that right as he was about to talk, freaking Agno barges in talking about some Gael robbed Lyris. Like, y'all need to go to the police, not freaking Amadeo. And because of this, freaking Teo started stalling. And Teo was like, all right, now I'm really gonna tell you for real. Amadeo's like, spill the tea already. And Teo backed out. But Agno noticed that he was a mess. He was like, you gotta tell me. So they go to Agno's apartment and Agno's giving him advice. And Teo's like, what if you found out that the person you loved did something horrible? Would you forgive them? And this is literally the worst person to ask because he was like, actually, why yes. Mano Santa here used to be a killer, but I forgave him. And this just egged Teo on. He was like, oh really? They can change for real? And Agno's given this crappy speech about the power of love and how it can change somebody. Like, not the right time for this. They're like, yeah, we were transformed by our love. We're different people now. And Teo ate all of this crap up. It literally egged them on. But the difference between them and Teo and Josiane is that Josiane doesn't freaking love him. So Teo, dumbass, goes and confronts Josiane. And he's like, I know everything that you did. Josiane is like, okay, what? And my dude pulls a Fabiana. He shows the phone. Josiane starts panicking. She's like, oh crap, what do I do? And freaking Teo throws Jose Helio and Rocky and all them under the bus. He's a snitch. So Josiane is literally trying to talk her way out of this one. And Teo isn't as mad that she killed somebody as she is mad that she didn't run to him for help. I cannot stand this clown, and honestly, if she kills him, she kills him. Josiane really said, I am innocent. She legit said she's innocent. Over at Best Cake, it's the final. It's Mary Peace, Alar, and Donna Inferno. And they're rushing to get ingredients. And once again, this judge does absolutely nothing. Like, she's the biggest enabler out of all of them. Donna Inferno was about to hog the ingredients all to herself again. But Mary P said, no, your cheating ass needs to chill. And Donna Inferno was shook. And it was about time this old lady got put in her place. She said, it's a shame that you have to cheat. She said, if you're gonna win, you should win honestly. And the host legit just stood there and did absolutely nothing about this. Anyways, Josiane is legit talking about, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. She was like, yeah, you know, I had to do this. Otherwise, Gardel would have ratted me out. So Josiane is literally trying to talk her way out of this one. And Teo's like, you killed 2 people. Like, what is wrong with you? And Josiane is like, no, I swear I didn't kill Lucas. He just kind of fell off on his own. And listen, Teo might be a dumbass and an idiot, and he probably believes every single lie that Josiane tells him, but he definitely wasn't falling for this one. Back at Best Cake, if y'all don't remember this cake, it's the one from the first week. We're going all the way back to episode 1. Mary Peace is making a birthday cake that she made for VIVI back in the day. So Donna Inferno goes first. You already know VIVI Clownhouse gave her a perfect 10. And the judges, once again, the real ones were like, listen girl, your cake is basic. And Donna Inferno was pissed again. But how they let her do this nonsense? The host really was like, oh, you know, they're competing for $1 million. Like, anyone would get upset. No girl, you have to keep them in check. Alar goes next. He explains that he grew up poor, so his cake has very subtle and very basic ingredients, which make it a little less flavorful. Well, Vivi didn't really care, because she basically called his ass broke and gave him a poor rating. Like, poor Alar, y'all need to leave this man alone. And next up is Mary Peace's birthday cake. And Donna Inferno hater ass is watching intently as they rate her. And these 2 judges absolutely love it. They rave about the cake. They love every single thing about it. Mary Peace is so happy. Remember that none of the other 2 contestants have a perfect score yet. So Mary Peace gets a perfect score, she wins. But it's Vivi's turn, and this bitch is making a face again. And Mary P's like, oh no, here we go again. This bunch is gonna freaking ruin it. But not so much, because Vivi's freaking out. The freaking cake revealed all her past memories that she forgot about. She had an Instagram filter flashback to her birthday cake, and Mary Peace was there. And she keeps remembering. And we're left with Vivi realizing that she remembers her mother and her past life. Yo, it's about to get good tomorrow. Did I not tell you all something big was going to happen this episode? So we start with Vivi just going crazy and remembering everything after she ate Mary Peace's cake. Mary Peace was like, you good, girl? You alright? Vivi was a mess. Girl had to be carried out by the other judges. Everybody was shook. They were like, what's going on? But this caused a good thing, because Vivi ended up getting eliminated from the show, which also means that her votes were nullified, so the host ended up being the actual final judge. So first she went to try Donna Inferno's cake, and she liked it, because we all know she was biased to her the whole time. But then she tried Mary Peace's birthday cake, and Mary Peace was like, this is the make or break moment. And that host was like, bruh. She was like, I can see why Vivi went crazy after eating this cake, because this is damn good. And then she automatically declared Mary Peace the winner of the contest. And our girl Mary Peace was ecstatic. The confetti flew out. She hugged the other competitor. She even shook hands with Donna Inferno. Mary Peace was greeted by Amadeo, and they went right to making out. And they had a little surprise party for Mary Peace. And I love how Marlene was the first one who hugged her. That's her real mom, y'all. Also, y'all might have missed this, but Ellen was there too, which means that they still keep in touch. And of course, Rocky and Joana were there, and then Rocky and Joana were talking about going on their date. And I love this cute moment between Mary Peace and Joana, and how she was like, yeah, go on your date, girl. Y'all know who wasn't having a good night? Teo and Josiane. Josiane really cried some whole tears, talking about, Teo, you're not gonna put me in jail, right? Girl, that's where you should be. But Teo's clown ass was like, no, I couldn't do that to you. Like, the whole tears really convinced him. Teo really is a simp. He's such a mess. Josiane really gassed him up, talking about, I found the perfect man for me. And she was even like, since we're renewing our love tonight, let's celebrate by going to a nice hotel. Y'all keep that in mind. Elsewhere, VIVI was still dealing with the mental breakdown from the cake incident. Yo, VIVI was a straight up mess. Even Camilo was concerned for a moment. And VIVI started telling Camilo about her experience with the cake and how she had the exact same experience when she went to Espiritu Santo with Chicle. But Camilo flipped out at the mention of Chicle and left, which was for the better because she left VIVI and Berta alone and VIVI was able to just let it all out. And Berta was trying to console VIVI. She was trying to calm her down. And this was one of the sweetest scenes in the entire show. Berta started singing to VIVI. And VIVI remembered that her mom sang to her too, which calmed her down. Yo, this scene legit almost made all of us cry. Elsewhere that night, I noticed something about the show. When the shots start getting very, very stylish and Josiane is involved, it means that she's going to commit a crime. Notice how she hid when they got to the check-in. But why are these scenes so aesthetic though? I'm here for Josiane committing crimes. So Josiane and Teo are inside and she calls for champagne and an ice pick. And we immediately cut to Josiane practicing on the ice. Oh my god, Teo's just sitting there like a dumbass not knowing that's him next. So they cheers and all. And honestly, Teo low-key deserves this for being such a dumbass. Like, he knows that Josiane is completely evil and unhinged. And he knows he don't love her, but yet he's still here. So she starts making out with him. She immediately grabs the ice pick. And she stabs his ass like she was in Game of Thrones. She went in. She knifed his ass like she knifed him so much. Like, ma'am, you doing too much. This is some HBO levels of violence. Like, y'all doing it all, Josiane. Well, R.I.P. Teo. Can't say he didn't deserve it. Honestly, Josiane is the queen of committing crimes because every time she does, she is fabulous. It seems like Josiane is learning because she started cleaning up everything. She took Teo's phone and then swagged out. And she left Teo's dead ass there. Let this be a lesson to y'all. This is what happens when you simp. Y'all gotta control the thirst and y'all gotta control the simping. Back in the ghetto, Josiane takes Teo's phone and she throws that mess in that pine sol bucket. She wanted to make sure that thing was getting wiped. Typical Josiane leaves loose ends of all her crimes because she took the ice pick and hid it in her apartment. Then she took all of Teo's documents and burned them along with her crime clothing. She is a mess. Then William the hacker showed up and he was like, nah fam, this is too much. You up to some weird stuff. He was like, this is too much for me. I ain't trying to go back to jail. I am out. But it seems like Josiane didn't finish the job because Teo's ass still alive. The next day, she calls Grandmama Evelina for an alibi, and she brings Chicle to cover up because she's like, listen, I was with Mary Peace, and we all know nobody wants you there, so Chicle will help you out. She was like, you're gonna help me out? And Chicle was like, girl, I don't even like you, but what you do though, spill the tea. And I was shook at how surprisingly honest Josiane was. She was like, yeah, she took care of somebody which had evidence on her that was gonna send her to jail. And Grandmama Evelina put two and two together, and she was like, bruh, you really killed Teo? Like, what's wrong with y'all? And Chicle's like, I ain't gonna be your alibi, but I can send you to freaking Espiritu Santo if you want, and they'll cover up for you there. That's their problem. She was like, I ain't going to no dirty-ass country. Like, y'all got me messed up. And Chicle was like, girl, fine, whatever. I never liked your ass anyway. Honestly, I hope that Chicle snitched. And at this point, Grandmama Evelina better catch some punishments because she is doing too much. We take a break from all the nonsense to celebrate Mary Peace being treated like the queen that she is. She about to become a celebrity herself. She makes a winner's entry back into her own bakery. And Joana tells her that the cakes are basically sold out. Everyone's loving her cakes. Mary Peace like, oh my god, we have to make more cake. Later, Jordana had to go investigate Teo's case, and she had no idea it was him. So her and Camilo get right on it. They review the footage, and they're like, damn, we can't see that girl. She did it on purpose. And Camilo was like, listen, Teo ain't got no hoes. We all know who he was hanging out with. So they immediately go and question Josiane. They're like, girl, where were you last night, huh? Because you extra sus. And then they tell her that Teo got attacked, and Josiane was like, oh my god, I can't believe he got attacked. Like, she's extra fake as always. But Jordana, as usual, isn't buying none of it. And Josiane is like, I found out he was cheating on me with some other girl. I wasn't with him. And she remembered the name on the fake ID that William gave her. And Camilo's really this stupid because that little fake scene convinced him. He was like, oh, it mustn't be her. And then William busted in. I thought you were out, buddy. And he was like, yeah, she was with me the entire night, so she was totally here. And Josiane was like, yeah, I'm totally cheating on Teo too with this guy. And then Josiane slipped. And she was like, oh my god, I just want to go visit Teo's grave. She was like, you ain't fooling nobody, Josiane. But I guess Jordana isn't that bright either. Because she was like, no, I misunderstood. Take me to the hospital. And she did. She did. She literally took Josiane to the hospital where Teo is. So we finally meet Teo's nothing-ass mom. You know, the lady that keeps... I didn't even think she was real until now. Because they kept saying she's traveling the world and whatever and not watching after this nasty-ass kid. I hate this lady because of all this nonsense. Anyway, Josiane is like, I'm gonna be here all night watching after him. And Jordana's just like, oh, okay, you do that. And then Josiane had the nerve to be like, yo, you a little too close to my man and you need to back off. Like, Josiane, what is this nonsense? For our last scene, Vivi goes and looks for Mary Peace. And I'm glad that Marlene cursed her out. She was like, you were so unnecessarily mean to Mary Peace in the show. If it was up to you, she wouldn't have won. So what are you doing here? And Vivi just looked like a dumbass there. She was like, no, I didn't mean it. And she was like, fine, I'll let y'all settle this. So Vivi surprises Mary Peace. And Mary Peace pretty much had the same reaction. She was like, Vivi, what are you doing here? Because you don't like me, we ain't friends, and you were totally rude to me in the show. And Vivi started apologizing, and then she started talking about her background. Vivi started telling her about how the cake made her remember her infancy and started telling her how she was adopted and stuff. And that actually made Mary Peace happy, that her cake was like that wonderful that it unlocked memories in her. But then Vivi kept going and she was like, wait, I was adopted, I had this traumatic infancy. And then she tells her the whole story. And the second she's like, I was from Espiritu Santo, Mary Peace putting two and two together. She tells Mary Peace about the day on the beach where she had to run away and when they found her. And that was all the proof that Mary Peace needed. She was like, oh my God. She's like, you're my missing niece that I've been looking for. And Vivi was shocked, confused, like she has had no idea. And Mary Peace once again confirms. She was like, yeah, you're my missing niece. And then she asked her to hug her. And then they did. This was so cute. And like for the first time, Vivi and Mary Peace are at peace. So the big secret's out. I knew something big would happen. A very important running theme in today's episode is the importance of family. So y'all keep that in mind. We start with Mary Peace being ecstatic that she finally found her missing niece. Vivi was happy too, and I was so happy to see these two getting along. Mary Peace was so happy she literally kept crying out of pure happiness. But Camilo quickly ended the whole thing because he called Vivi and he told her what happened to Teo, which ended up the whole thing. I'm a little annoyed that Teo's dumbass kind of ruined the moment, and Vivi kind of felt bad about it. Mary Peace wants to go visit him in the hospital, but Camilo was like, yo, your boy is extra bad, like he might not even make it. He's just there sipping the tea like nothing. Meanwhile, Vivi here is feeling bad. She's like, damn, this is a really good moment, but I kind of feel guilty for being all happy while Teo's suffering. And Mary Peace convinced her that they can go visit Teo another day and that he's going to be fine, but they should still focus on celebrating the newfound moment. So Vivi takes Mary Peace to Sylvia's house to show her her grandma's bracelet that she gave her as proof that she's her niece. And Vivi tells her family the news of what happened. Sylvia's so happy for it. And then Vivi takes Mary Peace to her room and she sees the bracelet that Grandma Dulce gave her. And Mary Peace immediately recognized this thing. Mary Peace once again was overcome with emotion and she just started crying. And then Mary Peace started recalling how they had so much conflict in the past and how Vivi just was so rude to her during the reality show. And Vivi felt extra bad. She apologized to Mary Peace and she was like, listen, I didn't mean to be mean. I was just trying to be fair because I didn't want people to think I was giving you preferential treatment. But we all know Mary Peace doesn't hold grudges and she's full of love, so she forgave Vivi instantly. And she told Vivi that she won anyway, so it didn't matter, and they both celebrated. I'm so happy that they're finally like at peace. Elsewhere, Teo made it out of surgery, and the doctors came out and told the family the news that Teo was okay for now. And Josiane was like, I'm the girlfriend, so I'm gonna be the first one to see him. The next day, Chicle gets a call from Mary Peace, and she's explaining to him that him and Vivi are cousins. But she's like, don't worry about it though. You guys are distant cousins, so it doesn't matter. And Chicle was weirdly happy that she was part of the family. Anyways, Vivi's getting ready to meet with Chicle, and then Vivi's all happy, and she tells him that they're planning a get-together that same night. And I'm not gonna lie, it got a little weird when Chicle was like, yeah, I remember you as a little girl when I was a little boy. And she was like, yeah, I remember you too. Like, y'all a little weird with this. But anyways, Vivi's so happy, she finally goes to Fabiana to tell her the news. Fabiana's so rude and nasty, so she's like, girl, spill the tea, what you got? And she's like, oh my God, Mary Peace is our aunt. And Fabiana's just like, what? Even Bertha chimed in, like, girl, did she stutter? Like, you heard her. She was like, yeah, we finally get to reunite with our family. Aren't you happy? And this hater-ass Fabiana was like, girl, I don't know no Mary Peace. She ain't my family. I don't know that hoe. And Vivi was like, wait, so you're not excited? Like, Fabiana's so nasty, and she's just cold and heartless. Like, Vivi couldn't believe this. She really started talking crap about Mary Peace. She was like, well, you know, me and Mary Peace are at odds because of the bakery, and we have all this crap. And Vivi was like, all right, that's cool, but that's like your family. Like, there's a difference. There's your family, and then there's like monetary things, which are not as important. Even Bertha jumped in. She was like, bruh, that's your family, fam. Like, what are you doing? And Fabiana's hater ass persisted. She was like, I don't know no Mary Peace, and I don't even care that she's my aunt. And poor Vivi was extra disappointed by her reaction. She was like, listen, fam, every time I see you, you disappoint me even more. And she left Fabiana with some choice words about how she should value family. And you can tell those words got to Fabiana because she left her looking like a dumbass. Elsewhere, Teo's allowed to get visits, and Josiane insists that she's the first one to go. So poor dude Teo woke up to this crazy wench. And this crazy bitch was like, I'm gonna kill your ass, don't think you're... Josiane starts disconnecting him from all the vitals, but thankfully Jordana pops in. But Jordana, how dumb are you? You legit just saw the man commit a crime. Josiane really talking about, oh, he just disconnected himself. What is this stupidity? But Jordana ain't that dumb though, because she was like, listen, because this is an ongoing investigation, we're gonna put a guard outside of Teo's door. And Josiane, knowing that she lost her chance to get rid of Teo, knows that her ass better move quick. This is my favorite part of the novella, because this is towards the end. This is when the villanos start to get sloppy. They know they're about to get caught, so they start getting desperate and start to flee. And that's exactly where Josiane is right now. But she gets home, and she gets home to Mary Peace talking to her landlady. And that landlady's just like starstruck by Mary Peace. She absolutely loves her. I love how Mary Peace is such a warm and caring person that she literally makes friends with like whoever she meets. This is how you know that Josiane is rotten and spoiled and nasty, because she's the only person that hates Mary Peace, and Fabiana too. Anyway, Josiane's rude ass is like, what do you want? What are you doing here? And Mary Peace is like, we finally found your cousins. They're Vivi and Fabiana. And Mary Peace is so happy to deliver the news, but Josiane isn't. Josiane's like, wait, Vivi and Fabiana are my cousins? Like, yes, girl, your cousin's scamming you. And Mary Peace is like, yes, you should go meet them. We're gonna have a party tonight. And Fabiana's like, oh no, I do not like them, and I'm not gonna meet them. She was like, I can't stand those bitches, so I don't even care that they're my cousins. And Mary Peace was like, wow, Josiane, you extra corny for that. And then her ungrateful ass was like, unless you're gonna give me some money, you can leave. And then Mary P says almost exactly the same thing that Vivi said to Fabiana. She was like, damn, Josiane, it's so sad that you don't value family. And she was like, one day you're gonna regret not loving your family. And as heartless as Fabiana is, you can tell those words got to her and it really made her think. Like, her and Fabiana had the same reaction. I wonder if that's foreshadowing. Over at the hospital, everyone's still waiting on Teo, who's progressively getting better. And Sylvia shows up and meets Teo's mom. And she's like, oh. And I bet you Sylvia was thinking, oh, you the wench that travels all the time and leaves her children unattended. Anyway, Jordana questions Sylvia about Teo and his potential girlfriend. And she's like, you know if Teo's seen anybody other than Josiane? And Sylvia's like, no, Teo ain't got no hoe. And she was like, Teo is extra levels of simping for Josiane. There ain't nobody else there. And then Merlin chimed in and he was like, yeah, my brother's an extra simp. He's a level 10 simp. And Jordana was like, all right, level 10 simp. And who would have thought that Teo simping for Josiane actually ended up helping him and working against Josiane in the end? Over in the ghetto, William the hacker and Josiane are going at it. He's like, girl, you better burn all the evidence, burn that fake ID so nobody can find you, and your ass better get out of here. And he was like, but I'll come with you. Like, what is this mess? Josiane has another boy toy. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of cute in the trash. So Mary Peace arrives to the hospital and he meets Teo's mom, and Teo is no longer tubed up. And Mary Peace tells Teo's mom about how much she loves him, how much Teo has helped her out, and also she tells Teo's mom about how he lent her money. And she's like, girl, Teo's ass is broke. Like, he's just a normal photographer dude. He ain't got money like that. And Mary Peace was like, oh, crap. And she started thinking, and I think she realized that the money didn't come from Teo after all. Because her and Amadeo had to talk about it afterwards, and she was like, I think I know where the money came from. Mary Peace goes in and talks to Teo, and she's super sweet. She's sweet talking to him. She's calling him mi niño. She's like, get better. And Teo could clearly feel the love because he woke up for a little bit. Then Jordana popped in and she's like, Teo, you gotta tell me who did this. And my dude Teo started saying Josiane's name. And we know Jordana ain't stupid. Now she's like, all right, it must have been Josiane. Later that night, she's getting ready for the reunion at Beatrice's house. But Camilo caught them slipping because he was like, I took some time off of work. I ain't missing this tea. And Bibi and Berta were like, well, I guess we're just having to deal with the mess now. Mary Peace already over at Beatrice's house, and her mom and Chicle are there too. And they're just chatting it up. And poor Mary Peace is disappointed when she finds out that Fabiana didn't want to come. And for the last scene, Vivi arrives, but so does freaking Camilo. And then Chicle and Camilo have like a Western standoff. And Vivi's like, damn, they really doing all this mess because of me. And we're left in a very tense situation. I want to see how this mess is going to go on